Very nicely done, Brownie. Have a look at this, Bill.
What?
Got a big guest coming in next, and might just get a shot of him over here. Swarthy.
Huge man.
Look at the big boy, Dawes.
Dawes in the back door.
Just ready to rumble. So Chris Dawes is next for Magpies fans. You've got plenty to enjoy at the moment. Stick around. What about the Collingwood Football Club as we welcome you back to the Sunday Footy Show? They are 7-1, and the last time they were 7-1 was in 1990, Bill, when they won the flag.
Oh, great news.
2013, 133, the Maggies. Their record on the road is unbelievable, as we highlighted at the top of the show. Fremantle 15-7. Travis Cloak with 5 was great. Dane Swan just keeps getting huge numbers, as does Barlow, by the way. And Sandilands was sensational in the ruck as the TAC Cup Supercoach points come up. Cloak and Sandilands, no surprise at the top there. But it is time to welcome, I think for the first time to the Sunday Footy Show, a man who has come into this Collingwood side and made a big impression, and that is, of course, Chris Dawes. Dawsey, welcome, mate. Great to see you. Congratulations on the footy you're playing. Give us a bit of an insight into why, when Collingwood get on a plane and go into state, they do it so well.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's no secret formula or anything like that. I suppose the one thing it is a chance to get away as a team and be solely focused on footy. So I think, and it's not as though the ground suits us, because I find Subiaco personally is actually pretty difficult to play because it is a different shape to most of the other grounds. So it's probably more, that being able to get away as a team.
What about yourself, Chris? You've got an opportunity and you certainly grabbed it with both hands. Your role is virtually just to bash and crash and really put pressure on across that centre-half forward line, and you're doing it extremely well. Yeah, well, I think just with my frame, that's what I need to do, and that should be a strength of mine, is being able to sort of be a physical presence down there. And I suppose I'm grabbing my opportunity now in terms of staying in the team, but even that's a constant battle, and I know last year and the previous year I really battled to get in, and when I was in I wasn't sort of finding form, and I suppose a bit more comfort and confidence this year's been why I have been able to stay in the team.
You're the first big bloke down there since Anthony Rocker retired, and it certainly helped. You've played the 4 games, and it's no coincidence Travis Cloak's played his best 4 games of the season the last 4 weeks, and he's come in a bit of form. Having you there has really opened up the game for him.
I suppose so. I think it probably helped us Friday night with McFarlane going down early, because we really stretched them for tools, and I suppose just with both John Anthony and myself being in there, we do drag another tall defender away from him, which has been able to help Travis, because one-on-one he's unstoppable, really.
And you've got to keep the form up, Dawsey, because there's some big names in the VFL side. Lee Brown, Josh Fraser, Lockyer, Presty, they're all there knocking on the door, so to speak.
Bill.
What?
Come on.
Well, they don't even answer that, Dawsey. The big Lee Brown did kick 6. It was goal for goal early, guys. Fremantle came out of the box quite well. We see Pav getting it over the top to the big man, Sandilands. What an important player he is for the Fremantle side. But then the Collingwood Football Club went on a rampage, kicking 5 goals in a row. And it was your pressure on Fremantle. You really went into the game with a focus on that. You must have, because you harassed them, you made them turn it over, Dawsey, and then you made them pay on the scoreboard.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's probably our focus going into a lot of games, is with that forward pressure to really try and squeeze teams up, and offence flows from that, and we don't need to speak about that as much. So, yeah, you're right, the defensive mindset was there, and that's why we were able to, once they got momentum, like, it was pleasing to be able to stop that momentum, especially with their crowd.
We're just seeing here in the second quarter Matthew Pavlich with a little party trick, kick over the skull for a goal. The Fremantle just changed their way they were playing football a bit in the second term. They started to use the handball a bit more and get the ball through your zone setup, and they caused a bit of trouble kicking 6 goals in that second term.
Yeah, they did, and that's why they've been so impressive this year, is that pace they have and that ability to take the ball through the midfield like they've been doing is why they've been hurting teams, and that's when they hurt us in the second quarter.
You get a lot of Joe the Gooses, a lot of ones over the top, not you, but a lot of Collingwood players seem to just stroll in and kick easy goals in the goal square. I
think part of that's just been that we try and work up the ground to provide our midfield and our defence with support. This is as forwards.
Yeah.
And part of that is when you do turn it over, you've got a lot of space behind you to run back into.
What is the directive from the coaching staff on a turnover? So when Collingwood wins the ball, it seems like your midfielders and all your players just back each other in and really run hard and attack your forward 50. But on the opposite, when you do turn it over, it gives the other team a chance to score because Fremantle kicked 11 goals themselves on the turnover.
Yeah, definitely, and I suppose that's where we've got to be good about getting that balance of, if we know we've got the ball, then sure, we can create and spread to try and make space, but we've got to make sure we know we're going to win that. If we spread too early, we can get hurt on the turnover.
Must be a good feeling as a young player coming into a side that's on top of the ladder. You know you're going to get a lot of inside 50s, you're going to get a lot of look at the ball. How good is it just to come into a good side rather than, and you probably wouldn't know, coming into a poor side?
Yeah, well, as you say, the years I've been at Collingwood, they've been strong. And for me, in a way, that's awesome because you're playing sort of good footy and in a good side. But the flip side of that is there's a lot of competition for spots.
Well, it was a great second quarter of footy, boys. It was 10 points at half-time in favour of the Pies, and you really didn't know which way this one was going to go. We mentioned before Luke McFarlane going out with his knee problem. That was probably a good thing for you guys, considering you had the three talls up forward, including yourself, Chris. You just started to cause havoc with Travis Cloke, yourself, and also Jack Anthony up forward.
Yeah, absolutely, and that was sort of something they can't account for as a tall going down, but thought we stretched them well, and as a result, it was Trav Cloke was getting one out with Tarrant and beating him pretty
His
comprehensive.
contested marking was a real feature. He kicked 2 goals in this third term, and that's when the Pies really put this game out of any doubt.
Yeah, and I think the hardest thing in that third term was trying to get back on top, because with the crowd over there in Freo, they were loud and they were really helping him. So for us to get a couple of early goals and take the crowd out of it was really important.
Chris, after watching a few Collingwood games this year, I've noticed that you've always got a lot of goal kickers. You had 13 in this match. The couple of weeks earlier, you had 13 as well. So it is fantastic to have a forward line that's operating like that.
Yeah, and I think it's not just the forward line, it's our midfielders, because they're quality players who are all sort of maturing now. And our game style a bit as well lends to that in terms of getting pressure around the ball, and then it's just whoever the ball falls out to is the one who kicks the goals.
Just a great team goal here. We see, I think, Alan Didak getting on the end of it in the end. He had another fantastic game, kicking 3 goals. He had 26 disposals. But your whole midfield is really sharing the load well. It's just not one or two. Dane Swan, Scott Pendlebury, Luke Ball now. It's a really, you're playing great team football.
And that's the pleasing thing of it, is you struggle to name our best player because we've got such an even spread through the midfield. And Dids has been having a great year, has spent more time in the midfield, whereas in previous years he's been up forward, and I suppose that's just given us another rotation through there.
Friday night, you've got Geelong, massive challenge, no doubt a light week, and are you ready for them?
Well, not at this stage, still pretty sore, but no, I think we will be. That's one thing that we've looked forward to with Freo last week, is I suppose an opportunity to test ourselves on the big stage and be able to prove to people that we can beat the best. And Friday night's going to be a really tough opportunity, but a chance to do that.
Well, boys, what's becoming a feature of my votes each and every week as we have a look here. Best on ground was Travis Cloke, and he was absolutely fantastic. I gave him a 10 until half-time, but then I had to change it up. So there we go. Travis Cloke, and that is just TV gold.
We've got Graham Kennedy here.
Travis Cloke, 8. He was absolutely fantastic. He was the difference in the first 3 quarters, kicking 5. Dane Swan, 30 disposals, was fantastic. Aaron Sandilands is just a giant of a man, but he kicked 2 goals as well. I thought the Collingwood guys did okay, getting a couple of goals. And Alan Didak, 3 goals, 20-odd possessions, fantastic. The month ahead, Sydney, North Melbourne, Adelaide and St Kilda for Freo. Big month for them. Collingwood, the big game, that's the one, Friday night against Geelong at the MCG. Brisbane, Western Bulldogs and also Melbourne.
I could give you just a little bit of advice, Tomo. I would leave the funny stuff to Bill.
You're a funny man, Brownie.
Oh, hey, Bill.
Yes.
Oh, Dawesy here. Tall,
Yes.
good looking,
Yes.
well educated,
Yeah,
lives in Brighton.
Watch out, Jim's next to you.
Well, man, where'd you go to school? You actually put a few words together
Brighton
there. Dawes,
grammar
going
boy.
right.
Yeah, Brighton grammar boy.
Oh, he'd know how to use a
Reckon he-
chainsaw.
Yeah, well, here's a comment. That's a still for you. There it is
I would
there.
suggest I'm the only man on this panel that has held one of those things for real and used it on some timber.
I'm telling you what, you're holding something else too.
You are. You've held something.
Dawesy, are you
Consistently,
a experienced chainsaw user?
Not yet, but I can definitely see it coming out in the future.
Now,
What about the change?
speaking of Collingwood greats, the great Lou Richards, we of course are honoured to name the Lou Richards Medal after Lou.
Yes.
And $20,000 goes to the Dulux, courtesy of Dulux, where the shield goes to the winner. I think we've got the leaderboard here. And G. Ablett now, along with Big Sandilands, 38 points apiece. Alan Didak having a terrific season, as is Super Pav and Dane Swan. Guaranteed, Bill, as long as you live in your house.
That is a very, very good promise, and it works.
That is the Dulux Weather Shield promise. Now, don't worry, Adelaide is a magnificent part of the world. Now, Chris, great to see you. Good luck for the rest of the season. You're doing a great job with the Magpies.
Cheers, thanks for having me.
And don't worry, the Magpies are absolutely flying. We're going to a break. We have Damien Barrett and the second part of the